All right, buckle up. We're going for a crazy ride. Today, we're diving into a Wild West hellscape that's got more twists than a politician's tax return, and it's all thanks to robots. We're talking about AI music copyright, where the lines of ownership are blurrier than a Bigfoot photo, and real creators are ending up with the short end of the stick. Ever wonder if a damn robot could steal your song and then sue you for it? Sounds like a sci-fi movie, right? Well, it's not just possible, it's already happening. First, let's get on the same page about what copyright actually is. Think of it like this. When you come up with a brilliant idea, like a catchy melody or some heartfelt lyrics, and you actually fix it into something tangible, say by recording it as an MP3 or jotting it down on paper, you automatically get copyright protection in the US. It's your special song, and you're the boss of it. That means you're generally the only one who can make copies, sell it, or create derivative works based on it. But here's the kicker. While you get automatic protection, registering your copyright with the US Copyright Office is like giving your rights a superpower boost. It's a literal piece of paper from the federal government that says, yep, this belongs to them. It gives you extra perks, like being able to sue someone and get your legal fees paid back. Now, the history of copyright itself is a wild ride. And honestly, it often feels like a story where corporate power gradually chipped away at creators' rights. From the Stationers Guild burning down print shops in the 1400s, seriously, burning them down, to major acts in the 1900s, copyright law has always evolved when technology changed. And usually, it meant more power and longer terms for big corporations, not necessarily the individual creator. Fast forward to today, and we're seeing this play out with AI. Here's where it gets really interesting, and frankly, a bit unsettling for human creators. The US Copyright Office is pretty clear. Purely AI-generated works are not copyrightable. Why? Because the law currently presumes that authorship comes from a human. So, if you just give an AI a few prompts and it spits out a song or an image, that output generally can't be copyrighted. It's like asking your buddy to make me a nice song about love or something, and then claiming they are a joint author just for the request. That's not how it works. However, there's a murky gray area. If there's sufficient human authorship involved, the work may be eligible for copyright protection. But what the hell does sufficient mean? Prompting alone usually isn't enough. The Copyright Office looks for perceptible human contribution in the final work, like an expressive input where you put your original human creation into the AI and then the AI expands on it. Or if you significantly modify the AI's output, like taking AI-generated images and arranging them into a unique comic book, that might count. Now, here's a crucial pro tip from the Legal Eagles. If you do use AI in your creative process and you want to register your work, you must disclose it to the Copyright Office. You have to disclaim the portions that were generated by AI. For example, if you used AI for lyrics and melody, but you own the entire sound recording, you'd specify what was AI and what was new and human-made. Fail to do this, and your copyright registration could be challenged or even canceled, which could be devastating if you ever end up in a lawsuit. This is why reviewing what you put in those online forms is so important. A typo in an email address can even lead to your case being closed. Don't screw it up, because the government will make you pay for it. Perhaps the biggest head-scratcher in this whole Wild West scenario is when AI music generators charge users for the copyright to music that likely doesn't have any copyright protection in the first place. It feels a bit like they're selling snake oil. If a work isn't copyrightable by law because it's AI generated, how can a company transfer that copyright to you? They can grant you a license to use the music commercially, which means they can tell you what you can and can't do with it because it was made on their platform using their algorithms. But that's not the same as granting you actual copyright ownership. These companies are clearly gambling on the lack of clear legal precedent. And speaking of gambling, let's talk about the nightmare that is copyright takedown notices in the AI music space. YouTube's Content ID system, Google's fingerprinting tool, was designed to protect copyrighted content. In theory, it's a good thing, but it's being abused with mass fraudulent reporting of copyright infringement. Here's how the scam works. Someone generates music with AI, uploads it to a distribution service, pays a fee to get it added to Google's Content ID database, and then boom, anyone who uses that AI-generated music, or even something that just sounds similar enough to trigger the system, gets a copyright claim. The implications are huge. Even if music distributors have safeguards against uploading AI-generated content, there's literally nothing preventing someone from just checking the right boxes and uploading it anyway, in clear violation of the terms of service. And YouTube's response to these disputes? Essentially, too bad, sucker. They're a multi-billion-dollar corporation, but they claim they're not in a position to determine or enforce any of this. The consequences for creators are dire. Monetization from your video can be held in an escrow account. You could get a copyright strike, or even lose your entire channel if you get 3 strikes. Fighting these claims is often a long, pointless, and expensive legal battle. Now, the AI companies have their own defense: fair use. They argue that training their AI models on copyrighted music, often sourced from the open internet, which means any music out there they have, not just public domain stuff, is just like a human learning from existing music. They say it's transformative, creating something new, and therefore qualifies as fair use. But the Copyright Office itself, in a report, concluded that it's more than likely it's not fair use. Legal experts also point out that if the AI-generated music replaces the value of the original copyrighted material in the marketplace, say, if a company uses AI-generated tracks instead of hiring human musicians for an ad campaign, then it's clearly devaluing the original work and not fair use. Think about it this way. If the New York Times can prompt an AI to spit out whole sections of their copyrighted articles verbatim, that's not transformative. It's a direct copy. And some AI models have even generated classic Christmas songs that are not in the public domain, sometimes in the recognizable voices of famous artists. This isn't transformative. It's straight-up imitation or even interpolation without a license. So, if you are a major record label, you're going to sue, and that's exactly what's happening to companies like Suno and Udio. So where do we go from here? It can definitely get so much worse. There's a concern that the current administration is very pro-tech and pro-AI, potentially looking to soften regulations and allow these companies to run rampant. This could be seen as undermining the independence of the Copyright Office and sending a chilling message to anyone in government who wants to stand up for creators against big tech. Lobbying dollars are pouring into Washington, and the focus seems to be on maximizing profits, not protecting artists. As consumers and creators, we're essentially asking for a consumer bill of rights for copyright enjoyers. We want rights like the ability to back up, format shift, and time shift our own media, the right to repair devices, and the right to escape end-of-life traps. For more information on the fight for consumer rights, you should follow Rossmann. He has fought and documented his effort on right to repair. Register your copyrights. This cannot be stressed enough. It's your evidence of ownership when challenged. Read the terms of service for any AI platform you use. Understand what licenses you're being given and what rights you retain or don't. Even if you don't have copyright, there are creative lawyering ways to protect yourself, like claims of unjust enrichment if someone steals your AI-generated idea and makes money off it. Focus on your unique human brand and identity. In a world flooded with AI-generated soulless generic content, personality and human connection are your creative secret. People want to connect with unique works and not generic art. Keep creating. The challenges are real. Artists will adapt. It's worth noting, without original human works, the AI models fall apart. If you're interested, watch our other video on AI model collapse. This is a quickly evolving landscape. Laws are slow catching up, and court cases are being fought, but take time. By understanding your rights, staying informed, and doubling down on your unique creativity, you can roll with the punches in this cowboy free-for-all. Thanks for listening to GG Deep Dive. If you want to support the channel, please like and subscribe. End of transmission.